Hi, Christine here, and I just want to reach out to you, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm just on my morning walk as usual, and I just thought I'd drop this quick video to you just to basically say about in terms of business recovery. I've been talking about how you can look at reducing your staff due to the seasons, the times of the year, for example. So, for example, if you're in healthcare business, you've got your healthcare staff members that are actually out in the field, for example. Why not see about them coming in to cover some of the office duties, just little office duties? I'm not saying that they're tech savvy or anything like that, because maybe they're not, but you may have some that are tech savvy that could help you out with your rostering, that could help you out with your bookkeeping, things like that. So think about it. You may have like, rather than, because you have your quiet periods during your healthcare business, for example, and you've got your staff members that are out in the field that have possibly not got enough work to do, for example. And maybe what you could look at that point is bringing them into your office where they can do, say, for example, 2 hours a week, for example. You could have, like, say, maybe 5 staff members, healthcare workers that are out in the field, and they're doing like 2 hours a day, for example, for your organization, if that fits in with your business. I'm not saying that, all healthcare workers are going to be able to do the task at hand, because maybe they can't. So you have to use your due diligence and make sure that they are going to be suitable to work inside of your organization, and that you do trust them to do that. So the things that they could possibly do is help with rostering, help with shifts that need covering. And then if there's a shift that needs covering and they're in the office, then they go out and cover that shift, rather than you having to pull someone in to cover when someone's gone off sick, for example. So that's one example of reducing your staff that you usually have in your office, for example, and bring in your healthcare workers that are working outside in the field. Maybe they've got a quiet period for an hour or two, for example. Then bring them in the office. What is it that you think that they could actually do at that time? So that could be, like I said, rostering. It could be where they even answer the phone, or it could be they could do quality assurance, where they're ringing clients that they don't go into to see how they are finding the service and whether they're happy with the service. So think about how you can actually bring your staff members that you've got out in the field into your office to help with your office costs, for example. Like how I had the video earlier about reducing the number of hours, have staff on a seasonal basis, for example. Really looking at using your money wisely in your business. Well, this is one way of doing it, where you can actually say, hey, let me call in a particular staff member who is possibly very good in your office, and that can help you with rotas, for example. They can help you with rotas. They can help you with lots of things that is going to be time consuming, that's going to help you in your business. That way, they're not going to go off and look for a job somewhere else. You can say, right, okay, come in the office once a week, do 2 hours for me. That's giving them, that they're losing 2 hours a week, possibly because of there's a slowdown for whatever reason has happened that's caused that in your business. So maybe you can look at that aspect, and then you can look at another one, perhaps another carer, to come in and do your rotas, for example, or help with answering the telephone, or even doing the on-call as well. What is it that you can get your frontline staff, those that are going out to do the care, for example, they've got their hours that have been reduced due to the seasonal time, for example? What is it that you can give them where you can get them to come into the office and help you out with some of the tasks that you've got in the office that needs doing? And that is one way of doing that. And then you know, at the end of the day, you don't need to have so many staff members in your office, and you're paying them a full-time wage and they're permanent. Look, like I said, business recovery plan is what you got to start thinking about, and how you're going to manage that. Because if you are letting staff go, then you've got to look at what staff members that you're going to need to be able to do the jobs that person that you've let go. Or is that job just redundant? You don't need it and that's why you've let them go. If that's the case, then you let them go, and then that's the savings for you in your business, for example. So think about, when you are going through your staff audit, what is the amount that you're going to save by not having that person work for you within your organization? Is there staff members that are going out in the field doing care, for example, that you could possibly bring in for 2 hours, you know, a week, just to do a few things? Maybe they could do the rota, 2 hours, for example, come in, get them to do that for you, as well as them, you know, going out in the field doing their usual work. But maybe you could get someone in that is able to do that, for example. So think of ways that you can utilize those staff members that have got lost hours out in the field. What can they do inside your office, for example, that is going to, you know, give them like an extra hour a week, for example, 2 hours a week? Or you could use a virtual assistant. We have a virtual assistance agency whereby we can help you as well, where our trained healthcare workers who are DBS checked know how to do rotas as well. I just wanted to drop this quick video and for you to think about what you need in your business right now, because you've got to think about cutting down your monthly costs as much as possible for when the inflation hits next year, for example, national insurance, etc. What is it that you're doing right now? Just like these organizations are doing, these large organizations are doing, they're cutting back on staff because they're concerned, and they're doing it as a cushion, you know, as a protection, because it doesn't make sense for the whole company to go down. So they're looking at how can they minimize the risk. It's called damage limitation, and they're focusing on that right now, which is important to do, and to look at having skeleton staff on that is going to keep the business turning over until you get busy again and that you can afford it again. But at the moment, you got to look at what staff members do you really need in your office. Can you get virtual assistants in to do the work, which is going to be, you've got no tax to pay, national insurance, you've got no holiday pay, you've got no sick pay to pay, no pension. I don't mean that in a horrible way, but you as business owners have got to really start thinking in a business recovery way how you can continue to save money for the company, so that you've got money aside ready for, or if you need it, to help save the business, because you never know when you're going to be hit with something. So at least that way you've got the money to cover for those uncertainties, those uneventualities that you're not planning for, those challenges that will hit you in your business or a crisis. Plan ahead. CEOs got to plan ahead. Look at what you can do in your business, because at least this way you've got a chance. Okay, many years ago when the recessions hit people, they didn't really know how to deal with it. Like when it hit me in 2008, I didn't know how to deal with it because I wasn't prepared no one really taught me about planning for when these things happen. You know, you just set up a business and you think, yeah, I'm going to be great, I'm doing well. But what happens when you get hit by a storm? That's the key here. So I hope that was helpful to you. Try and look at the staff members that you've got out in the field. Can they be brought into the office to help you with the staff members that you've reduced in your office, to help with those tasks like rostering, telephone calls, customer service, quality assurance, things like that. What is it that you can get them to come in to do? And you know, they'll also be grateful for that, because it's all about staff development, right? So maybe you can help with that. Get a apprentice, look into that as well, because you could get an apprentice in at £7.55 an hour, for example, which starts in April. That's what they're going to be paid. National insurance, try and look at part-time staff rather than full-time staff. Then you haven't got the national insurance inflation to deal with as well. So what is it that you can do as a business owner to really reduce your costs and to look at your crisis planning and your business recovery plan? All right, so take care. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. Speak to you soon. Bye.